Think for myself and I won't do what they say. Well, I think for myself and I won't do what they say.
What do you mean you think for yourself and you won't do what they say? You're brought on this earth to obey. There's no Declaration of Independence, no life, liberty, the pursuit of happiness. We're in America. We're in the USSA or Australia or Italy or France or Germany. No freedom. You do what you're told. You think for yourself. Not allowed to think for yourself. If you don't believe what I tell you, you're a conspiracy theorist. Anyway, this is Gerald Celente. It's Thursday, August 14th, 2021. And here are some of today's trends in the news. Well, on the market fronts, boom, boom. U.S. stocks rallied after better than expected earnings reports from Walgreens Booth Alliance. Putting in the shots up, man. Yeah, business is going up. Oh, the shots are for free. That's the bullshit. That's right. We, the stupid little people, pay. The government says, they're paying. It's our money. Anyway, that's going up. You ready? Bank of America. Can't believe it. Wow. Oh, and Morgan Stanley and Citigroup and Wells Fargo. The banksters. The bigs are making money. Everything else is going down. September's producer price, you ready for this index, came in lighter than expected. Well, that's another good reason why the markets went up, because the producer price index went down. Yeah. Wholesale prices rose 0.5% from the prior month. You ready? First, a 0.6% Dow Jones estimate. Oh, that's good, man. I mean, that's 0.1%. You know what this is, don't you? Bullshit. That's right. Initial unemployed insurance claims last week, this was another good reason the market went up, 293,000. Yeah, great. Now, remember, last week they expected the new job applications to be over 500,000. The numbers are ranging from 700,000 to 500,000. 194,000 jobs had been created, and then we saw 4.3 million people quit their jobs. And they're talking about 0.1% that brings the markets up. And the bigs are the only ones going up. It's all nothing more than bullshit. That's right. Oil prices on Thursday, yep, $84 a barrel plus. This has nothing to do with, supply hang-ups or can't find enough truckers. Now, nothing to do with that. Again, inflation is real, and they're saying that it's because of the tie-ups, the ports and all of that. They don't mention a word about the cheap money being shoveled into the economy by the governments and the central banksters. Record low interest rates, United States buying $120 billion dollars a month of corporate and junk bonds and other bonds, government bonds. Not a word about the cheap money that they pumped in, and they're blaming it on supply chain, holdups, which is, as I said, bullshit. You got it. Putin links energy woes in pipeline. Now, I just mentioned about oil. Gas prices are at 13-year highs, natural gas prices in Europe. And Putin drew a connection on yesterday, between resolving Europe's natural gas crisis and gaining regulatory approval for the Russian-backed, politically fraught Nord Stream 2 pipeline. So they're blaming Putin now for not sending enough gas through, and they have not approved this pipeline because the United States is the one that's stopping it from happening. Meanwhile, the little people pay the price for it. Inflation is back at its highest in over a decade. Of course, this came out, yesterday. Rising wages, gasoline, rents, shortages propel the latest 5.4 pace, adding pressure on the Fed. The wages are tiny. It's the other stuff that's going up big. I mentioned the price of a new automobile is now $40,638. It's a sick joke. So the inflation is going up again. They mention rising wages, gasoline, rents, shortages propel the 5.4 pace. Not a peep from the prostitutes about the cheap money that jacked this thing up and negative and zero interest rate policies around the world. Not a word, not one word in all of this. And by the way, that's how we underline the stories. We make the salient points of the stories, and then he goes to the writers, and then I put in the trend forecasts. Shadow stagflation makes investors nervous. Big story here in the toilet paper record. Again, all underlined. See the underlines? You analyze what they're saying. Again, it's not stagflation, it's going to be dragflation. The economy's going to go down and inflation's going to go up. Again, this whole article, right? This whole big thing. And what's my note down here? One of the notes? They refuse to note record low interest rates and plenty of cheap government money. Not a word. Not a word. Not a word. Not a word from the low-life piece of crap prostitutes, media whores that get paid to point out by their corporate pimps and their government whoremasters. And that's why, ladies and gentlemen, and children of all ages, that's why you need the Trends Journal. There's no magazine like it. Last week was over 165 pages. And you look at it. Crypto, techno, revolution. You got it. You got it. China's producer inflation, 26-year high. Oh, no, it's those poor tie-ups. Yeah. And as inflation's going up, they're going to raise interest rates. Now they're talking about tapering, cutting back that $120 billion a month at the grand total. $120 billion. 15 billion. And then over there in Turkey, we've been writing a lot about this in the Trends Journal. The lira every day keeps hitting all-time lows. The unofficial inflation rate is 40%. The official is 20%. We wrote about this in detail in the last 2 issues of the Trends Journals. Erdogan just fired another bankster because he wanted to raise interest rates. The lira fell as much as 1.1% to a new record. Yep. Erdogan calls himself a self-described enemy of interest rates and espouses that reducing interest rates will lead to lower inflation. There you got it. Economic growth squeezed around the world. Serious financial problems afflict 40% of U.S. households in recent months. This is a Robert Wood Johnson Foundation and a Harvard Chan School of Public Health. I'm mentioning these two because these are the effects of the COVID war. The billionaires got $8 trillion richer, while 40% of U.S. households have been afflicted with problems. Households struggle to afford medical care and food, with figure rising to 59% for those with incomes under $50,000 a year. $50,000 a year. And your jobs in America, what do they pay at Walmart, Amazon, Dollar General? Probably on average, if you average them out, Walgreens, CVS, 15, 16 bucks, not even close to it. And now the COVID war has destroyed a lot of the small businesses, while the bigs get bigger. COVID turmoil exposes great finance divide. Financial Times. The coronavirus crisis caused a much larger rise in public and private debt than the global financial crisis, the IMF said yesterday. All right? And it's not the coronavirus caused it. Scumbags, little pricks, count the numbers, I can't say the word, have destroyed the economy with their lockdown mandates. Look at Argentina, one of the most locked down nations on the planet. What good did it do? Oh, it brought the place down even worse as it was going down before. They destroyed it. It's not the pandemic that caused it. It's the murderers and thieves, the crime syndicates that imbeciles and morons call a government. Speaking of low-life pieces of scum crap, dirty shit, pricks, how about the Federal Reserve? This is the one place to go to for great information is Wall Street on Parade. They put out great stuff, and this just came out. And Russ and Pam Martin talking about that scumbag over there in Texas, Kaplan. And she goes on to write, the editorial noted that President of the Dallas Fed, Robert Kaplan, held stakes, you ready for this, of over $1 million each in 26 investments and moved in and out of S&P futures. And they won't give the dates that he did it. He was doing it just as the Fed was going to announce what they were going to do, so he's playing the futures markets. Every other Fed bank president and every member of the Fed Board of Governors has listed their specific dates he refuses to do it. They've been contacting them, and they won't answer him. They've been going to everybody to find out the so-called boards that overlook the Fed. They refuse to give the answer. The game is rigged. It's a crime syndicate. You want to see how funny this is? How moronic and stupidity, the shit that they throw down our throats? SEC to shift its policy on accountability. Wall Street regulators said they plan to require companies, in some cases, to admit wrongdoing when they settle civil enforcements. Admit wrongdoing when they settle. They get a free ride, a slap on the wrist, like that other scumbag, arrogant little fuck, Jamie Dimon. $31.7 million last year, convicted of fraud at least 4 times, a slap on the wrist, and rigs the precious metals market. Going back to where the economy's going, they're going to do anything to gangsters to keep it propped up. Gregory Mannarino writes about this in detail as well. Reality's going to hit at some time. Look at the facts, right? Oh, we may punish them. We may make them admit that they committed a crime rather than saying, well, we won't admit or say yes or no, here's some money, leave us the fuck alone. Get out of here. Slovakia's central bank chief charged over corruption, all right? It's global. Very important. U.S. takes Bitcoin lead after Chinese ban sparks great mining migration. Right now, the United States overtook China as the world's biggest source of Bitcoin. Tomorrow, we're putting up a special trend alert with Mark Moss talking about this. We've nailed it. Bitcoin right now is in a very critical place to take off. We've been writing about it for over 2 months, and it's in that range. And you're seeing stuff like this come out. Putin even came out yesterday and didn't denounce it. He said, no, we're not ready to trade with oil yet with Bitcoin, but maybe, we'll see. We'll see. Again, the only thing that I say is going to bring it down is like a China, because China's going digital, and they don't want competition. Here, propaganda again, this is how the whole story is underlined. And this is why you read the Trends Journal. We tell you what's going on, what it means, and what's next. So you read the headline, rate of workers returning to office hits pandemic high. Wow, great, huh? Woo! The number of workers returning to traditional office space has been edging higher since last week of Labor Day. You ready? With an average of 31% of the workforce was back in 10 major cities. 70% of the people aren't there. And they're saying this is a big deal. And again, we're writing about all the implications, what this means, commercial real estate, etc. And, you ready? Orlando hotels are projected to lose $2.27 billion in business travel revenue in 2021, down 81% compared to the pre-COVID war, 2019. The American Hotel and Lodging Association, they project 2021 down more than almost $60 billion in business. They lost $50 billion in 2020. The market's going up. Hey, all you people out there that are saying it has to do with tie-ups of, ports being tied up and you can't get enough this or that. What does it have to do with this? Hotel industry? People aren't going, man. Can't afford it, don't want to do it, and it ain't no fun. Again, so much going on. Chemicals in shampoo and makeup are linked to early deaths, study finds. Now, worry about COVID. Don't worry about all this shit they're throwing in our food, in our in the water, in the air, in the earth. Don't worry about that. And don't forget, when you jerk off, sanitize your hands. Yeah, this stuff is great to keep going into your system. Matter of fact, you may want to push some of it down there, Yeah, put some of it up there. Ready for this number? The study calculated that between 91,000 and 107,000 American adults a year suffer premature deaths from these chemicals. All right? Hey, fuck faces, how come you're not talking about this? Oh, the COVID's going to kill you. The COVID's going to kill you. And this is only one little thing that they're putting out into our food, into our water, into our air. They're murdering us. Oh, got a lot here. Important. Judge backs religious exemption. A federal judge extended an order requiring New York State to allow religious exemptions from the COVID-19 vaccination mandate for healthcare workers. Again, why don't healthcare workers want to get them? Because they see the effects of them. Got it? Got it? Go into a nursing home. I do. And the people, these are the people, what they look like. Yeah, breaks my heart. Vaxxed up. Dead. Dead. The importance. By next week, the Universal Church of Freedom, Peace, and Justice will be offering religious exemptions. So stay tuned. Walgreens to close 5 stores after San Francisco thefts. What a surprise. Blow me away. Never would have thought that would have happened. We only forecast this would happen back in March of 2020. When people lose everything and have nothing left to lose, they lose it. Look at the office occupancy rates. What's going to happen to commercial real estate? What's happening to all those businesses that depended on commuters? Look what's going on in the hospitality sector. No trade shows, no conventions. Here's another one. Again, we got so much more. Panel pulls back on broad use of aspirin in a daily regime. Doctors should no longer routinely start most people who are at high risk of heart disease on a daily regime of low-dose aspirin, according to a new draft guideline, you ready? By a U.S. panel of experts. That's a fucking dirty word. Experts. These are the same fucking experts that told people to take them over every day. Experts, dignitaries, senior government officials. Fuck off. Grow up. I'm going to do one more. We got a lot here. It'll be in your Trends Journal. Going on geopolitically in Eritrea, what's going on in Poland. But France to invest in nuclear reactors and as a green energy project. They're going nuclear. Oh, Fukushima, Chernobyl, great. It's green. It's green. All right. Step right up. It's the greatest show on earth. It's the Barnum and Bailey Circus in a country near you. This thing's going down if the people don't stand up. It's a freak show. So, your Trends Journal, packed with information. You better get ready. This thing's going to go down big and hard. It is. It is. You're looking at the numbers. I'm not making this stuff up. And again, donate to Occupy Peace, because we're going to be bringing the Universal Church of Freedom, Peace, and Justice up very soon. Very soon. The site's done. We're in the final touches right now. And again, the more that people support us, the more we could do. And I'm fighting. So again, also look at the great interview, a podcast that we did yesterday with Judge Napolitano. You got to see this. He's great. I mean, it's a real winner. He's telling things. He's freed up now. He's saying things, boy, they're in violation of our rights in so many ways, and he's calling them out. There's no man, there's no judge out there that comes close to Judge Andrew Napolitano for giving the real facts. So check that out. And tomorrow at 2 p.m., Mark Morse. And I'm going to be down in Miami on November 10th at Mark Morse's big event down there. I'll be one of the speakers. So come on down, and we'll see you soon. This is Gerald Celente, and that's some of today's trends in the news. The COVID-19 war has changed the world, but who's prepared? What's next? It's in your Trends Journal. Trends Journal subscribers are prepared. Subscribe to the Trends Journal. Read history before it happens. From the world leader in trend forecasting.